So, this is your host Steve from the back, coming at you again, raw and unscripted as always. And so I kind of wanted to do this rant for a while, but trying to come up with new ideas for me isn't always easy. And let's just face it, you guys, on YouTube, there is I'm not trying to be an asshole, but there is a trend of people simply copying people's videos, people covering the same stories over and over, and some people not really repackaging it in that much of a really interesting way even, coming from my perspective, which is like one of the most unpopular perspectives in society, let alone in also on YouTube, because I'm an admitted Satanist. I admit that my interest in spirituality is more left-hand path leaning, which people would consider in the realm of black magic or darker things. And just me being who I am isn't the popular opinion, but the point I'm trying to make is because obviously I like being a YouTube person, I like being on social media. With that being said, I can only give my version of anything, and it just necessarily isn't the popular opinion or whatever, and everything I'm about to say probably isn't really that popular. Now, if you're wondering who the gorgeous woman is on the start of the video in the picture, which I will be doing probably an actual proper cover of this girl. Should I just try to squeeze it into the video? You know what I mean? So if you guys are wondering who this woman is, this lovely lady here, is what's her name? I'm trying to make sure I don't screw this name up. It's Brianna Bounce. So, and the reason why it took so long to say that was because I know who this person is. It's just sometimes speaking is difficult for me to formulate words and say things sometimes. So I don't want to be an a-hole that screws it up and say someone's name wrong or say the wrong name, because I know some of these adult film stars have similar names, and I did not want to f that up. You know what I mean? So this is the cream farts girl, you guys. If you guys have, someone's like, did you just say that? Yes, I just said it. One of the best videos I've seen with this girl is the cream farts video. Is Rihanna Bounce cream farts, and someone's like, how did you find this video? How perverted are you, dude? How did you find this? Well, it was because I was actually looking for a good old-fashioned milk enema video. But I happened to run across the video on Google Images that said cream farts, and it had a really hot-looking thumbnail, and I saw the girl, and I was just like, whoa, who is this girl? So, I clicked it, and this was probably years back when I first saw this video. It was kind of literally my introduction that day into the whole world of the milk enema fetish thing. So the cream farts is kind of in a similar category, and there it is, you guys. So check that video out. If you guys don't know who Brianna Bounce is, check her out. I'm giving her props. But with all that out of the way, the reason why I chose her for that picture, thumbnail or whatever, is because it actually does tie into this cryptid rant, believe it or not. And I've spoken about this before, and I will continue to speak about this, about how one of the things on this channel that I do is I try to dismiss and I try to change the cultural, mental, common knowledge, common human thought process, common state that we live in the bias that there is, that people have with certain things of the occult, certain things that are magic, of an actual magical nature. As fringe as it sounds, or as cringe as it sounds, you know, when people think of magic, they think of like pixie dust and they think of Disney movies and a bunch of nonsense. But what they fail to realize is magic is something that exists all around us, but magic is also in the realm of the paranormal. It is also in the realm of what you consider cryptozoology, and there are magical creatures that we have actually witnessed, but the thing is, people deem it demonic, people deem it this, people have all these names, it's usually a very negative connotation to everything, instead of people having more of an appreciation for things, and understanding that, like, where the main friction is that we live in a world full of things and intelligences that are different than ourselves, but they're intelligent just like we're intelligent. So there's a sort of almost a battle, even like there's this fight between that something is so unknown to you and to your normal knowledge that you are automatically going into a mode of defense, and you're going into a very fearful mode and stance, because you simply just lack the understanding to understand that this thing, or things, people, cultures, technologies, whatever you want to call it, because there's a broad spectrum of all this stuff, you're having an experience that is a phenomenon, and it's a science that is obviously unknown to our science now. That's kind of part of what magic is in general. And these powerful forces and things sometimes cause a very fearful reaction inherently to people. You know what I mean? In people, because, like I said, people don't understand, nor have they brought themselves to a place to be able to start trying to understand. They're operating from a mode of fear and panic. So what I try to do on my channel, that's not all I try to do, but it's a big part of it, is I try to dismiss that. I try to teach people through various ways how to combat that and how to ascend past that. You know, so it's basically like, people say, oh, it's evil. No, well, this is a problem. You guys use the word evil so fast with everything, and you can't really call that. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't feel like inherently every person is qualified to just call that and just label that on someone or something so fast, because you could just be wrong. You know what I mean? I've actually come to that conclusion that many times what you perceive as evil, it's like, why are you perceiving it as evil? You know what I mean? That's kind of what this rant is about. And I also dismiss on this channel is like the uncanny valley type of notion, to where you look at a being and you have a cryptid encounter or whatever, and simply because, instead of understanding that what you saw was very similar to you in a way, you take it as it's something alarming because it's similar to you, and that's kind of backwards. You know what I mean? Like, when you really think of it, it's kind of backwards. It's like, instead, you should be appreciating the fact that there's something intelligent that you don't know about that is similar to people. It's just that simple, you guys. And when I put it in simple words, that's really what this is. So I chose the picture of Brianna Bounce because when they talk about these, like, clowned, smiley-faced, over-the-top smile, ear-to-ear type of beings, that type of look, you know, we've all seen that type. That's the thing. We've all seen that look in people. It's just you're not connecting it. You're not connecting the fact that you've seen people who have a similar look. Um, you're not connecting that, like, obviously a cryptid is different. Its morphology and things are different. So yes, a cryptid could have a literal smile that spans from its ear to its ear on its face. Yes, with a hinged sort of mouth. A person's not going to have that. A general human is not going to have that. But what I'm saying is because there is a look that's similar. There's a similar look, in people that just have that big smile. Is where we attribute it as being attractive in a person. To us, it's usually like this woman here, this Brianna Bounce. It's an attractive look, but when a cryptid does it, it's usually seen as it's creepy or it's evil or sort of thing. Like, this thing can't really help the way its mouth was made in the first place. So it's like, why? But this is my whole point about. In this channel, we try to take an extremely unpopular approach, which is a very calm approach, a very controlled, a dignified approach. That's another thing. This channel is not a channel of fear, nor is it a channel of chaos or misunderstanding. Okay, so if I were to include you into this and say use the word we, which I don't like to use a lot because there's not a lot of people like me that probably even watch this channel. There's probably people watching this channel because to them they just want to laugh at it because they think it's a joke and they're just watching it to get a rise out of their own self, to basically say like, oh, look at this idiot, or look at this guy, or shame on this guy, and it's just shock value. So you're really probably, if you're that person, you're watching it for the wrong reasons, but you get what I'm saying. But what it's really about in this channel is a culture. It's about creating a type of culture, a type of person, and leaving a mark on this earth, because I'm going to die someday. This is me imparting all my experience, years of living, all that I've learned so far. This is my opinion. This is what I feel like, which is important things that I've learned that has to be spoken about, you know what I mean, over the course of my life. An approach to things that isn't necessarily. And this computer better not shut off, because this is important shit that I'm saying. So if this thing shuts off, I'm gonna punch a hole through this goddamn thing right now. I'm gonna be pissed. So it better not. I feel like this is the type of thing people don't like. They don't want this to happen. They don't want people to start thinking like this. And that's one of the reasons why I make these videos. Because like, and I'm going to put this on here too. Another part of this channel's culture is a by the sword combat battle culture. Okay, so where if you were with me personally at some point or another, you're going to be obligated to train for self-defense. Okay, you're going to train. This is not about you sitting around and playing video games, or you being a couch potato, or you being how do I say this? You being a sitting duck, or you being, some sloppy person. No, the part of the culture on this channel is also self-defense. Is just part of it. There's no getting out of this, because you have to understand, throughout every culture, and I don't care if it's just a culture amongst your friends or your group, your job, your country, wherever you're from. As much as you can be peaceful, you have to understand that there is a time where you may not have to be peaceful. So you have to train for when you are not being peaceful and when there is no longer a reason for peace. And there's many self-defense types of channels, but those channels are literally, they focus specifically on that, and that's like their bread and butter. And they're good channels. I don't even have to mention them because there's too many of them. That's everything from, they got all types. There's everything from like CQB to prepping to weapons to, you know, hand to hand to all these things, you know what I mean? Even on a psychological level, like conflict resolution, all that. But see, all of that type of stuff is in the realm of self-defense, right? But this channel is not about fear. It's not about fear-mongering. This channel is about becoming a better person, becoming a better, stronger version of yourself, and then at the same time learning to not operate from a mode of panic. I can't stress that enough. And you know, the first thing people do, like I said, with the cryptozoology thing, the first thing people always do when they encounter something is they just panic. You know, that can't be a thing, you guys. So with all that getting out of the way, just telling you about, you know, the culture of this channel. Because that's really like a lot about the culture of this whole thing. But with that out the way, and that's not just me. There's a lot of other channels that, like, the people are pretty much the same. It's just their what do you call it? Their perspective is just different. You know, their religion's different or whatever. Beliefs are different. But you know, with getting that all out the way, I wanted to speak on the bird cryptid, and I don't know if this bird cryptid thing, this humanoid bird guy, these birds, which, you know, we've heard stories about similar things, but, like, you know, we don't really hear so much about a humanoid bird thing, like this fiendish character. Let's just say it what it is, you guys, and what everyone's thinking. They're like, oh, it just seems so fiendish. They're like, it's like a Yu-Gi-Oh card. Look at it. It's just this is a literal fiend. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, God, come on. Like, you already know what you're thinking, you know. So it's like the things I have to take from this, this Texas. You know, you have to laugh when you think about Texas in general, like. You know, when you think about Texans in general, it's funny, like, you know, a lot of Christians, too. That's the thing you first got to realize, like, yeah, it's a lot of Christian influence, so you already know what this is going to look like. A lot of fear-mongering. So, you know, if you guys haven't heard about this Texas woman bird story, which I believe is true, but it's just, you know, her opinions on it and everything, talking about the bird creatures are on the tower, you know, okay. Several bird creatures on the tower. You know, the bird creatures are in a circle. They're dancing. They're chanting. You know what I mean? I mean, come on, you guys. If you can have church, this is my whole point. If we can have church, how come they can't have their church? You know what I mean? If they want to chant, if they want to do something, if they have culture and things that they're doing, I don't see what the problem is. You know what I mean? This is my whole point. I always look at things from a different perspective. Now, also realize that, like, if creatures are chanting, probably having some type of ritual or celebration or whatever they're doing, and you just happen to walk in on it, I mean, first off, it's like, are you not jealous that they have the freedom and the time to be doing that? You said it yourself, like, you wouldn't dare climb a tower, right? I mean, it's dangerous, right? It's not dangerous for them. You get my point? It's like, how come you don't see it like that? You know, you have a certain type of job you may have to do, responsibilities, things you have to do. You don't seem to have damn near much as freedom as these things have. These things seem like they have oodles of time and all day to do these things. You know what I mean? Whatever operations they're doing, I don't know, but, like, is that not something you just envy? That they get to do almost seemingly whatever they want all day, and you have to do all these things that you don't want to do? You know, or you have this lawful chain to this society that they seemingly don't? You know, or the fact that, now, you said that one of these birds, not when it was like a big, you know, big blown up, unusually sized bird, nor this man bird like fiendish looking creature with the big smile on his face, probably laughing at you for good reason, because it's like, I think I would be laughing at you too if I was in his position, you know. But it's like, you said that when this raven or whatever it was, this black bird that you saw at your house that was acting unnormal, and you said you shot it several times, you know what I mean? you shot this thing several times and it didn't go down, you know. It eventually went down, but in a very unnatural way. It took, like, you basically emptied the whole clip into this bird, like a small bird. So it's like something should be clicking in your head as well, except not just the fear and the panic, but like it should send off signals in your brain like, wow, there's something way bigger going on here than myself, you know, like, hello, you know, come on, you know. I always talk about this, about how it's very linear, in my opinion. When people take these fearful stances, like, oh, it was evil, it was like, evil, why? What, because it attacked some of your dogs? Did it really hurt the dogs, or was it just like antagonizing them? How like, what was this assault actually? Did it tear your dogs open? Were your dogs' guts hanging out? No, you didn't say that. So this is what I mean, you know, like, I mean, I don't know what to call it. I mean, I don't think anything should be able to stand you unloading a whole clip into it, let alone a bird. But then, second off, if your story is true, second, why didn't they come to your house like in some type of full force or whatever and just slaughter all the dogs, or you, or whatever, or whoever's, you know? That's what I mean. Like, this is what I'm saying. There's always logic and reason behind things, but people never seem to attribute anything good to things they don't understand. You always, it's very arrogant. It's very strange. I don't actually get why people think the way that they do, or why it is so popular that people. I don't get why it's so popular or so easy or so natural or so normal for you to be that way, to come to those conclusions. You know, maybe it's a defense mechanism. It could just be sheer ignorance. It could literally be like an actual spiritual phenomenon, like that some people literally have to go through a certain process to ascend above a certain point or something. I don't know. I really can't explain this. All I can say is that I feel strongly that it is wrong how, on average, generally people's wavelengths, like, why is your brain functioning on that type of wavelength, like, of just fear mongering in unlogic. I don't know if that's a word, but to me it's unlogic. It's not logical. It's not logic, because, like I said, you have to understand, one, how threats work. That's one thing. You gotta understand, like, if someone wants to really do you harm, this could go a couple of ways. Like, someone or something, if it has the ability to do you harm and doesn't, it could be one or two things. It could be bluffing, could be one, could be an illusion, could be presenting something as a greater force than it really is, meaning that they really don't have the capability of what they're claiming. It could be even verbal, you know what I mean? It could be physical, like a bluff, you know what I mean? It could be that they are actually just sparing you, or it could even be they're not malevolent. It's that they're sparing you because they're fearing retribution to some type of degree, or some type of law or something. So all those things are possible things, but to me it just seems like, and I'm just going to say this, and it might sound kind of messed up and raw, but I'm just going to say this like this. Now, to me it sounds like you're reverting to a straight up fucking baboon and a fucking monkey or something, when your first instinct is to think like, oh, this must be evil. And it's like, bro, evil? Are you serious? Just that's your conclusion? Like, evil? Last time I checked, I've seen evil things that were done on the news. Like, I've heard of like murders, I've heard of sexual assaults, I heard of robberies, I heard of, a lot of really sinister things where it's like, first off, you shot this thing several times, so you're the one that shot this thing, okay? Now, this is what I mean again. It's like, in my opinion, and I'm probably gonna cut this here, a real assault, in my opinion, I'm just saying, this is just my opinion, you know what a real assault is? A real assault is you get home and your dogs are literally gutted. You know, you get home and your pet, poor dogs, have their guts hanging out, and then maybe you know that the bird did it. You know what I mean? Like, that to me, that sounds kind of serious. Like, okay, because it's clearly, now, if you had to beat this thing off with a shoe, no homo, you had to beat this thing off with a shoe, or you had to shoo this thing off by kicking it or whatever, and kicking it and kicking, you know, you're kicking this thing, you know, what were your dogs doing with this thing? Like, what type of combat was ensuing before you got there to witness that this thing was trying to attack your dogs? And then also, you gotta realize, this bird that you said that came to the house, it was not a huge blown up bird. At that point, it was like a raven, like a bird, but it just was behaving different. So, what my logic is in all of this, where you're just thinking I'm insane saying any of this, but I'm trying to get you to see something. Logically, you tell me where this thing went so overboard to the extreme, and you tell me, was this thing overreacting, or were you actually overreacting with your actions? That's just a question. I think that's a valid question. I think it's always a valid question, right? There you go. So on this channel, what I'm basically boiling this down to is, we're big perpetuators of approaching something with logic, respect, in a dignified, respectable manner. You train certain ways to protect yourself from actual, real, normal, like, threats that are higher percentage, obviously, you know, like people, actually, like break-ins, thefts, assaults, you know, like, duh. Like any normal fucking respectable American with a backbone and some fucking balls would do, especially if you're a man. You know what I mean? Like myself. So that's one thing, right? That just should be kind of like, you should understand that. But then after that, when you get into this world of this whole cryptozoology thing, like I said, you know, you're coming with an air of calm, an air of understanding, a inquisitive type of energy, like you're just trying to get a read on what's going on, but you are not panicking. Like, literally, I hate to say it like this, but it just sounds like bullying, but I think bullying is good sometimes. In this, you know, if you are panicking or you're showing signs of panic, someone needs to slap you upside the head, basically, for that. It's like someone should be standing there with like something maybe like hard and metal and waiting for you to panic, and if you panic too much, you get hit. You know what I mean? Boop. That's the way I can describe it. Like, boop. Like, don't you dare panic. Like, you better keep your fucking composure. You better be composed as fuck right now. You better not panic at all. I don't want to even see a bead of sweat drip down here. You better be composed as fuck. So, do you get my point? Like, the mentality of this channel is a warrior mentality first off. So there is no panicking, there's no crying, there's no peeing your pants, there's none of that bullshit already. Because we are fucking men and women, and we are fighting men and women. We are not little pussies. So get it together already. Get that shit together. And you better get that shit right. And that's the way that shit is. You know what I mean? So get that together. So that should be kind of like, you should already be so composed already. Like, you should already be... But come on, you guys. You guys want to listen to fucking hip-hop all day. You guys want to listen to all that hard shit, but then act like pussies. So get that shit together already. You know? Get it together. Seriously, get that shit the fuck together. Right now. I don't want to see any of that shit. at all. It disgusts me. Like I said, it makes me want to abuse you. It's like, no, just fuck no. It's shame. You know, I watched this video, and I actually ranted about this before. This guy looks crazy. He looks crazy, but you know, I'm not gonna go into it. But this guy, and I'm ashamed as a black man to say that this is a black man of all things that was perpetuating this nonsense. But you get this guy talking all this shit about, oh, it's okay to be soft. So, okay, not here. It's not. Maybe wherever the fuck bubble you're in, but not in this bubble. Hell the fuck no. You are shamed if you come with that type of shit here. You are fucking shunned. So get that shit together. It is what it is. So, with that being said, that's the approach on this channel. That's the culture of this shit. And the thing that people don't understand is, when you come to that place, and you come from that place, it's even easier for you to be peaceful. You know what I mean? Because your mind is right. You're not coming from this fearful it's like your composure's right, so it's easier for you to think rationally and calmly. Like, it's actually even easier. It's easier for you to be much more peaceful. Like when you come from that, you know. So this is a good thing, but people don't want this. People are afraid of this. Like, this is, you know, it's like, you know, come on, people just don't want it. You know why? Because the actual evil is, like I said, the common knowledge, the common man, the common fucking deluded, narcissistic, what's another word? Arrogant, phony human experience, the general norm, the fucking general supposed whatever. It's all bullshit, man. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's fucking bullshit. And this is where it's really at. You know, this is what I'm trying to fucking tell you something. I've been trying to tell you this for so long on this channel, in so many different ways. But yeah, that's what this is. So, you know, this is not going to be this is not for kids. This is entertainment, but this is not for kids. This doesn't need to be monetized. This is me trying to explain something that good people in a future of good people needs to learn. Because this socially accepted nonsense that first off makes people soft, makes people weak, makes people fearful, makes people just unequipped in so many ways. It just destroys the society. It just destroys everybody. And like, to be honest, you know, if you're talking about like a spiritual perspective on this, we're not going to evolve as human beings if we keep behaving this way, you know, or if we keep perpetuating fear in forms of fear that were meant to control you, you know, meant to make you so scared that you close yourself off to everything outside of you, to close yourself off to anything that would want to help you, to wound yourself, to take the role as a prey, to take the role as weak, to take the role as the victim. Like, think if this was a simulation or something, and you had a choice to take the role as the hero, or you were to take the role as your God self, your higher self, the self that, you know, is beyond that fear and panic. And you choose the role of the victim, because see, it's like you're automatically calling yourself a victim in that. Like, you're saying, "Oh, it was evil. They were evil. They were this." They're like, okay, can you prove any of that, or are those just emotions? You know, are those thoughts, or what are you talking about? You know, it's like, I can't even prove that it's not evil. But my point is this, is what I can prove is that I'm calm. That's what I can prove. I can prove that I'm coming from a place of inquisitiveness, being inquisitive, asking questions. I'm not making statements in the form of just like, oh, this was, no, I'm analyzing. I'm taking my God role. I'm taking my power as a divine being, and I'm asking questions. So much to the point to where, okay, let's say if something is so dangerous, if you're so dangerous and evil, well then why am I still standing here? Aren't you gonna like murder me or something? You know? That's a stance. It's like, okay, well, what comes next? Like, what's going on here? Cause I don't care. It's not scary. Nothing's scaring me. I'm just minding my own business. You know? How are you doing? My name's Steve. You know, it's like when the guy talked about that when he noticed the thing had hands, that it said back to him mentally, yes, I do have hands. You know, does that sound that fucking threatening or evil to you? It's just, this is what I mean. Like I said, if you can't even communicate with something else intelligent, because I know you guys you're intelligent. You got to be intelligent. I mean, how do you tie your fucking shoes in when you get up in the morning? You're intelligent. It's clearly intelligent. You mean to tell me you can't have a conversation? You can't simply ask them why they're there? You can't simply just ask? You never thought of that? Just saying like, okay, what, why? And not in an intrusive way, but just like, my name is this. Hello, what are you guys doing here? You know what I mean? This is what I mean. So I try to make these videos so that people are truly enlightened. And I'm not talking about some little fucking phony woo woo in the air woo spiritual bullshit to where everything is all fluffy and sparkly, and all this is just to distract you or make you feel good, or to even control you. You know what I mean? Like a lot of religions. No, I'm telling you, just there's nothing religious about this. This is just spirituality. This is just reality. This is reality. Like, you just, you know, you can communicate with something that is intelligent. You can't communicate with certain things because they're not that intelligent, but you can communicate with certain things. So you better instead consider yourself privileged that you had the privilege of that type of experience, instead of panicking and fear-mongering. But you know what? But I mean, if you do that, then it's just kind of on you that you could have ruined a moment. You possibly, I'm saying, maybe could have ruined a moment that could have been a positive, life-changing moment. But instead, you know, that's what I mean. Like I talked about before, know your surroundings, be vigilant, know what an actual threat is, or be able to develop the discern. Because, you know, Christians in particular want to talk about discernment. No, learn how to discern evil that is around you, like at your doorstep. Learn how to discern a person's intention when people have unwanted attention on you. Learn to discern that. Like, learn to discern your fucking surroundings first before you go off thinking that you're going to discern that a motherfucker that you know nothing about, that you have no reference really, is evil or not. You know what I mean? Like, come on, you guys. You know, it's like, you want to call people evil? I bet you some of you people out here, you leave your spouse. Some of you guys go to church, right? You guys go to your little fucking church, you're Christians. You guys leave your damn spouse alone with your fucking whatever acquaintance, whoever, or your husband alone. You guys leave your significant others alone with some of these fucking people that you know, that you think are in your circle, and you'll see the actual evil in a person when some shit goes down that you necessarily probably won't even know about ever. You'll probably never know it happened, and then you come tell me what evil is. Like I said, it's the evil that is around you that should be your biggest concern. It is the people that smile like people in your face, but behind those smiles are very bad intentions. It is people. It's human beings. It's your neighbor. It's your fucking church brother or sister. It's your boss even. It's your acquaintances. It's those are the motherfuckers that are the real devils out here that are running around. You know, it's the person that's like standing in your way that has let's say a potential, you're a lonely person, you're a person that's lonely, you're a person that you probably committed suicide, not committed, I mean, you've contemplated suicide before because you're so depressed. And then it's the guy next door, or woman next door, that has that person that maybe could be your spouse that you may try to treat better or whatever. That person is in bondage because that person that they're with has control over them, and that person doesn't even deserve it. See, this is what I mean. We live in a world to where it's a dog eat dog. Human beings are inherently evil and selfish as a defense mechanism, and things just spread like a cancer. You know, it's the way it is. But the thing is, you can't go attributing evil in itself to everything that you don't understand while you are simply squabbling in your little fucking bubble. You know, while fucking murder is being committed, literally, rape is being committed, you know, all types of robbery, all types of theft on every level, all around you. You know, where all types of evil is actually really going on, pretty much a walk's distance away, and you're dumb enough, a lot of you, and arrogant enough to have a more what's it called, a phenomenon like experience, and then you come out of it talking about some evil loss. You motherfuckers got it all twisted. You know, the area where this shit happened, you have to realize that that area, like they spoke of, had activity where they supposedly owned slaves. So let me ask you this, which one's more evil? The witchcraft that was supposedly practiced, the fucking hoodoo voodoo that you claim people have practiced, black people, mind you, let's just be real. I'm not saying, trying to make this do a race thing, but I'm just being real, you know. Your Christian ass, most likely. Now, you tell me which was more evil. Was all the injustices, killings, evil, rapes, everything that happened in that slave era, that we basically perpetuated? You know what I mean? Like, us human, which one's more evil? Was it evil that you know actually went down historically? Or was it the evil that you and your little fucking little circle bubble brain said, oh, it was witchcraft, it was witchcraft my fucking ass, you dumb motherfucker? You need to cut the shit and stop blaming shit for people and other things and things you don't understand for your problems. Look in the fucking mirror. And I'm sorry, but let's just be real. Your goddamn white ancestors, you people, some of you people, you Texans that were out there, were probably the biggest fucking perpetuates of injustices that were going on against those slaves in the first place. So you fucking sit there with your little fucking Christian ass, now modern day, and talk your shit now, and talk about evil, like you like, okay, because you can say that shit, oh, okay, alright. But, like I said, I feel like the real truth is, the biggest fucking evil that's going on is in your government. The biggest evil that's going on is in your law systems, is in your day-to-day, is around you, is people in your fucking community. And that's how it is, you know? But you can't see it, so that's what this channel, The Culture, is always about. That's my take on a lot of this stuff. That's my personal take on that particular cover, or that video, you know, on that cryptid. That's why I looked at that shit. But you know, I have opinions on a lot of things, so on this channel I voice my, and the thing is, and I'm not trying, you know, I'm just being honest, I don't expect this shit to get monetized, so I'm not trying to be nice about it. I'm not gonna not curse. I'm gonna say it how it is. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything on this rant. You know, especially because it's very... I get so angry when I hear people talk to me. I was like, you little fucking ignorant, arrogant motherfuckers. Like, you shouldn't even be saying anything. You should just shut up. Like, you shouldn't even be talking. You know, it's like, you're just so... It's so burningly angering and annoying. Like, I know people can have their own opinion, and I get it. And, like, hey, it's a free world, whatever. You know what I mean? But my opinion's very different. You know, I could even title this something like "We're not on your side." You know what I mean? You're like, I'm not on your side. Like you're not on my side. I'm not on your side. Like, what are you talking about? You know, like, no. This channel, you could call it whatever the fuck you want to call it. You could even say, oh, that sounds cult-like. Everything's a fucking cult, you dumb motherfucker. Like, your job is a cult. Everything is a cult. So I don't give a fuck. This channel respects those that share similar views because, in my opinion, these views are right. In my opinion, if I die tomorrow, I wouldn't be proud about a lot, but I would be proud that I was vocal enough to speak on this before I'm fucking dead. And it doesn't matter if no one listens. It doesn't matter if it's just lost in time. No, it needs to be fucking said. It has to be said. You know? Because some of you motherfuckers out here don't deserve me not to say anything. You are not what you think. You are not as special as you fucking think. You are not as great and as pure and as unevil as you like to think. You're not. You're not all that. Your dream needs to be shattered. The glass needs to be broken. It needs to be completely shattered. That delusion that you have. So you running around. It's people like, I'm not gonna say her, but I'm gonna say it's certain people that have certain ways about them that I feel like, nah. You know, you don't deserve the satisfaction of the silence of just the masses. You know, you don't deserve people like myself to be silent. You're not going to get that satisfaction, you know. Like, someone's going to say something, and I'm going to be that person to say something, you know. So, that's what I just did. That's what I do a lot on these type of rants. And I do it in a literal fuck you manner. Like, literally. Because, just no. Just fuck no, you guys. Just fuck no. No. It's a revolt. It's like, fuck no. I'll be fucking goddamned. No. I'm not gonna take that shit lying down. You guys talking all that type of shit on that level? Fuck no. Like I said before, some of us get up in the morning, have to go to a horrible job, have suicidal thoughts, have crazed thoughts, angry as hell, mad at everything, hate the fact we have to do something we hate every fucking day, lonely, you know, you work hard all day and have nothing to fucking show for it. You come home, nothing in your life, no person around you, nobody you know, no one is into anything of any substance that interests you at all. You can't relate to people. And then you mean to tell me that with all of that turmoil, you're gonna call some motherfuckers evil that you know nothing about, or whatever your thing is, that are doing whatever their business is, chanting, doing this thing on a fucking tower? It's insulting. When I look at it, it's like it's incredibly insulting. You didn't look at it like, oh, well, there's a unknown intelligence that, like, someone needs to document this because this is an amazing thing. Like, this is amazing. Matter of fact, the thing broke the laws of physics. Like, you said the thing didn't fly down. You said it appeared in front of your car. So it's like, what science book talking to? Science books don't talk about that. You know what I mean? That's my whole thing. It's like, so instead of looking at it in that way, you come with that shit that you came with, that weak ass shit. That's what you gather from this experience. Fuck you. I hate to say it, but I have to say it like that. Fuck you. That's the world you live in. Like I said, we live in a slaved out world to where we, especially people like myself, who don't have certain luxuries, we don't have the freedom to even find people to even feel connected or have any type of, and you're talking about some things, some spectacular fucking beings in that type of way? You're bringing that negativity? Like I said before, I don't get the time of the day. I don't have the resources nor the time to be chanting and dancing on anything, with any certain people that are actually trying to accomplish a certain task or whatever, you know? Are you serious? Are you fucking serious? That's the way someone will say, well, you're blowing it up. No, I'm not blowing anything out of proportion. I am not blowing anything out of proportion. No, your next door neighbor asshole is blown out, motherfucker. I'm not blowing it. I'm not blowing shit out of proportion. You stupid fuck. I'm telling you just the facts. Like I said, I'm looking at it with just logic. Like, bro, we don't have the freedom that some of these beings even have. So it's like, what are you guys even talking about out here? You think that your fucking freedom is you what? Going to your job, or living at home, or evening strolls out on your fucking acres, or sipping your fucking coffee, or alright, well, that is some freedom, but keep your mouth shut. And this is my thing, is like, don't be so arrogant to think that your mundane human life is the end all be all, and that you just have the right to fucking demean and insult things you don't know about. Like, back in the day, you know, this was just what I have to say. It's like, you know, no one's perfect, but I feel like in this modern day and age, we're probably some of the most entitled, arrogant fucking people that ever walked the fucking earth. Like, you're just so arrogant about everything. Like, you're super arrogant that you'd open your mouth like that. I wouldn't even, you even open your mouth to say some shit like that, man. That's how I look at it. So that's my fucking opinion on the bird cryptids. That's my opinion on that whole phenomenon, that whole clown Nephilim face thing. That's my opinion on it. I don't know what your opinion is, honestly, at this point. Like, I respect people have their own opinion, but I'm not keeping my mouth shut. There's certain things I will not shut my mouth on, and that's one of them. You know, I don't wish this person ill will. I'm not saying all that. But the point I'm trying to make is the behavior in itself disgusts me, and I don't say a lot because people don't ask me, and most people know not to ask me questions. Because if you want a real genuine answer, if you already in your mind feel inadequate and you're asking a dumbass question, then you don't even ask it. You know what I mean? Like, if it's going to hurt you even more, the answer that's going to be given, that's the reason why a lot of people that actually have spent the time to know me don't ask me fucking questions. That's why. Because you're setting yourself up for more pain and suffering, you know? And people let their feelings hurt them. I'm not saying everything I say is the truth, but what I'm saying is usually if it is the truth and it hurts, it's the truth and it hurts. People don't like that. So, you know, take that however you want to take it. So, with all that being said, you guys, that's my opinion of this video. There will be more videos on other things. In the future, there will be other types of videos on this channel. You know, this channel will be vastly different if things work out how I want them to in the future. This is Steve's Art and Fun. I kind of would title this like the Cryptid Rundown video. You know, it's probably not even a good name for it. You know, but this is my Cryptid Rundown on this clown face Birdman thing. I don't know if I can even find a picture for a thumbnail of this weird thing, because this thing is really weird. I don't know. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of references to this thing. There's similar, vaguely similar things. And when I say vague, I really mean vaguely similar, not a lot of real hardcore similarity. Which makes it, I feel like, even more interesting, this experience that this person had. So, you know, until next time, you know, you guys have a good one.